What's going on? Actually, Amoongus, trying out something different today. We are going to, for the first time on this channel at least, attempt to break down the new Pokemon that have been revealed so far in Scarlet and Violet before we get to see any real information about them. I'm going to call this most likely the Route 1 breakdown because I think that's basically a summary of what we've seen. Now, with that being said, I'm not going to cover the legendaries because we know nothing about them. And I'm going to quickly go over the starters because we know so little about them. But I'm going to try to draw some possibilities and break it down to what extent I can for you guys. So we're going to start with Spriggato. Spriggato, you know, they give the height. The overgrowth ability is a given. And as I said, you don't get a lot of information on the starters, although none of them have a subtyping in the first stage. That can be said. You know, it has been done before. The only real information that I can really talk on Spriggato's like competitive breakdown is it appears to have a signature move, a kneading move that releases a sweet aroma. Skip ahead a little bit. This aroma has therapeutic qualities that makes opponents lose their will to battle. Now, my first reaction, that just sounds like a stat dropping move. Not the best as far as competitive viability, if that's the case. But just to throw out some possibilities, it could be a status healing move. It could be a move that lowers stat boosts on the opponent. I don't know. It really seems like a stat lowering move, like probably lower attack and special attack if it makes them lose their will to battle. But it could be something along the lines of aromatherapy. I don't know why they would make another effective aromatherapy when Spriggato will probably have access to aromatherapy, but it is what it is. That's just the best. I said I was going to go through the starters only quickly. Now, I don't think that the other slide over on the right is going. I think this is more Pokedex information than actual competitive information. But let me just point out the last bit after the comma and the last sentence right here. Aids its ability to photosynthesize. Now, photosynthesis in Pokemon is best embodied in a move called Synthesis. It heals you. That's great. Maybe this is a possible regenerator Pokemon as a hidden ability. You know, starters? It seems like, just to be fair, one starter always gets a broken ability. I'll just leave it at that. And we'll move on to Fue Coco. I think that currently Fue Coco might be in the lead for my starter, but I can't say that I've settled yet. It would appear that the first slide is more in the lines of Pokédex information, but if Spriggato has a signature move, Fue Coco probably will too. And it probably, if you really look at both of these slides, they're kind of talking about the same thing. That the little stem coming out of its head will probably, I can see Fue Coco evolving into like a volcano dinosaur. And his signature move will probably be something like a lava plume type eruption, fire explosion. You know, probably just a big burst of damage. Let's hope he gets a 150 base power move. Because I really don't have a lot on Fue Coco, although he's super adorable. He's really leading the way in the way of starters for me. And then we got Quacksley. Of course, once again, general starter ability. Nothing really to pick at here. But they do hint at Swift Swim. It uses its strong legs to swim freely. A glossy gel protects its body. Maybe I think that's more Pokédex related once again. I think they may hint at Swift Swim here. Now the real reason why I made this video was to go over these three. There's a little bit more information about them, and that's why. I can go a little further into how I think they might be as competitive Pokemon. So I'll give, I think, probably the most easy example to infer on is Palmy. Palmy's the Pikachu of the game, right? I mean, we all get what I'm going for by saying that. Its abilities are static and natural cure. Very good. Now we gotta see the statistics on this Pokemon. Because if it's got good defense and natural cure, that's automatically a Pokemon. Not to mention access to static as well, where maybe you could run physical defense, you know, mix it up in such ways. But even though they gave us two abilities for Palmy, they start talking about how thick and insulating against the cold Palmy could be the best defensive electric Pokemon not named Rotom. It's a possibility, folks. Now Lechonk, I know Lechonk is the one that all of you guys came to hear about. I know it. I'm probably gonna have to Lechonk the thumbnail. But Lechonk has bad abilities. I'm sorry. Lechonk has bad abilities, and Lechonk is probably the Rattata of the group. Realistically, Wooloo was not a great competitive Pokemon. Bidoof is not a great competitive Pokemon. Patrat, Yungoos, Rattata, Furret, and Zigzagoon, although Lanoon is probably the best out of the group, none of these are good competitive Pokemon. And I hate to tell you guys, Lechonk is just here to be loved. He's not here to fight. Lechonk is already crying. He doesn't want to fight. I'm sorry. And Smoliv is my favorite of the group. But I have some problems as what I've earned in reputation as a grass type user. I wouldn't go as far as specialist or expert or anything like that, but I definitely use them all. I use all the grass types. I can tell you a little bit about just about any one of them competitively. And here's my problem. First of all, Smoliv is grass and normal type. Adding normal type to other grass Pokemon could be interesting. But for Smoliv, I don't predict it helping it any. I actually think that it only adds, excluding the ghost immunity, it only adds weaknesses and doesn't add any resistances, which the obscure resistances of grass type, not a lot of types resist the same types. Normal and grass is not a good combination if you want a Pokemon that is a support type role, which I believe Smoliv will best. I mean, when I see Smoliv, first Pokemon attack that comes to mind is Leech Seed. It looks like a Leech Seed. And grass types are usually pretty good at the support role. It would appear that Smoliv is going to have a flinching signature move, possibly. If you read the left panel. But also want to point out that its ability is Early Bird. And you already can't Spore it or Sleep Powder it. I just don't think that its hidden ability has to save it as a competitive Pokemon. You know, normal typing, the best stab moves that you're going to get added to your moveset are probably going to be physical. I know Hyper Voice exists, and I understand that there's both special and physical, but like, You can't just slap return on a Pokemon that doesn't have good physical attack. I also know that return isn't in the game. I'm just making an example that there are more. Body slam, headbutt, pick your poison. But this thing doesn't look like a physically imposing Pokemon. And when you hear that it flinches you with oil so bitter and astringent, I would probably put that under the special attack variant as well. So I think Smoliv is going to be very Route 1 as well. But it's super cute. And I mean ridiculously cute. So we'll just wait and see, especially holding out for the hidden ability on this one. Palmy looks usable. The other two, probably not great, even in their evolved forms. But we can only wait and see. Make sure y'all click the like and subscribe if y'all got this far. Catch me next time. Actually, Amoongus, same peace.